The first one is
Jam, oh jam.
Cam Newton, confidence or delusion. Cam Newton believes the coach chose Phillip Rivers over him, and they did, but not for the reason that Cam thinks. He'll question their love for the game. He's selling the magic beans. And you know what the coach say? Won't do that. So is Cam Newton confidence or delusional? Let me know in the comments what you think. When you look at the numbers between him and Phillip Rivers, numbers don't lie, right? Cam Newton in 2018 through 2020, completion rate 59%, passing TDs per season under 15. He dealt with the shoulder and Liz Frank injury that's like with your shoulder. Sometimes pitchers get that sometimes. Lowest yards per attempt stretch of his career. So when we get to Phillip Rivers, in his final year in 2019, he had 4,600 yards, 23 TDs, top 10 in passing attempts, zero mobility, but full availability. Dude, he was a pretty tough guy. He was kind of tough as nails, especially in his prime years with the Chargers. He would get into it with the other quarterback. I remember him and Jay Cutler, man, had a legendary game. They was just going back and forth. Let me know, who would you pick? Would you get Cam or would you get Phillip Rivers? Who would you pick? Um, Definitely debatable. Who you want more? Do you want a pure quarterback or do you want a kind of modern style, quarterbacks? Cam Newton he's like a universal soldier. I mean, I'm 6'5". I think he's like 6'5", 6'6", probably 280. I'm 230. I can't imagine being 280. Whew. Man, that's crazy. That's a lot to carry around, guys. And you may not tell because he's tall, but if you see him in person, I'm pretty sure. Even me, 6'5", 230, I still look, when you walk up to people, they looking up like, man, this dude tall, you know what I'm saying? So I can only imagine. But teams wasn't choosing upside. They were choosing certainty. And that's what it's all about, the certainty. Sometimes he played with the Colts. They knew him. They knew what they're going to get from him. They knew he wasn't going to come in there and shake things up on a PR side. They knew that. So, one insight is Cam's issue wasn't confidence. Let me say it again. Cam's issue wasn't confidence.
I want the truth. You can't handle the truth.
It was predictability, health, role acceptance, and system fit. Sometimes you got to fit the system. It's not just about the talent. Talent only gets you so far. There are other things, just like in the real world, a degree will only get you so far. There are other ingredients that make greatness. Talent is one of them, but you got to be able to fit within the system. Can you accept your role? Or are you going to be on Twitter sending out cryptic tweets, bashing the team? In health, yes, you can work out and be a workout warrior, but it's different when you play an NFL game. You got people running into you like a car wreck. All those things have to be taken into accountability. And yes, you can make the same thing for Phillip Rivers. The same case. That's why it's debatable. But what I can tell you is they knew Phillip Rivers. It's a reason why they did it. Whether you agree with it or not, there is a reason why they call Phillip Rivers and not Cam Newton. It's just can you accept it? Can you stomach it? Can you make the adjustment? So if another team needs to make a call, they can call you. That's the question. I give you a situation before I move on. I used to work at this ISP place. They got bought out now by somebody else, but that was my first job working there because I was still going to school for like routers and switches and stuff, right? Got the job there, was making pretty good money. I think I was making like I was a contractor, so it wasn't full time. I was a contractor, so they paid you without benefits. So I was making like 60,000. I think I was like 26, something like that. 26. It was something like that in my 20s. I thought I was rich. My confidence was delusional. I used to tell people how much I made to try to keep them informed, but it ended up biting me in the butt. And my personality probably was part of the reason why when they did a layoff run, I was in that layoff run. But I lasted probably 3 years, I think. And they tried to offer me a full time position, but it would have been like 20,000 less, like 40,000. And I told myself this, like, if I'm working here making 60, there's no way y'all gonna talk me into making 40. There's no way. Um, so I bet it on myself. Was it easy? No. When the layoff time came around, I was on the list. I probably was like on the wave. One of my buddies told me, I ain't gonna say his name, I'm gonna put him out there like that, but he told me they said in the meeting they didn't let me go because of the skill. They let me go because they didn't want to pay me that much money anymore. I did so many they call it test and turn ups. I did so many of those. My initials or my ID probably still on a lot of those when it was coming down the pipe. However, I'm saying I know this. I'm accountable. My confidence and personality was crazy at that time. It was crazy. One thing I say, what was crazy was it was ISP place, and I used to wear these NASCAR shirts because they was button down shirts, but it just had a lot of logos on it. I wore a shirt in there, and it had charter on it. I didn't know. I just wore the shirt because of the color and design. I never knew that there was a competitor of the place that I worked, and that was one of the things that kind of popped up. Well, I think when I interviewed with her, it's like they brought up the shirt. Like, did you know that Charter was a competitor? I like, I would have never known. I just bought it because of the design and color scheme, whatever. So, but ego so crazy. You didn't do I didn't do the research, and it ended up costing me to be laid off. However, I understand that. I took that across the chin, and I kept moving. That's what I would say to Cam. Just keep moving, keep working out, man. I think because he's so confident, boisterous, a lot of teams, whether we agree with it or not, they just don't like it, right? They just don't like it. Even in the real world, like me being 6'5", when you're taller than most people and your confidence is crazy, yes, you'll stand out. You gotta be careful about that. And sometimes you gotta have delusional confidence, sometimes you don't. You gotta have discernment and be able to forecast when you turn it on and turn it off. Because it can get you in trouble, it can get you out of trouble. You just gotta understand how to use it.